Hello YouTube, it's Sean from the Pompey Games Room, back with another Mega Drive game review. So this week we're going to be taking a look at a Midway arcade classic, basically, in WWF, the arcade game, WrestleMania, the arcade game. So like I said, this game was released in the arcades and it was absolutely huge back in the day. It was one of those games that's a bit like WrestleFest, to be honest. WrestleFest of the 90s, the very early 90s when that game was out. But you can't see the screenshots here, but we're going to do some gameplay in a minute anyway. So basically this game, like I said, it was released by Midway. It was released across a lot of different systems, the Mega Drive in particular, which is the version we're going to be looking at today. It was also released on the SNES, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, DOS and the Sega 32X, Mega 32X, sorry. And to be honest, it's an absolutely solid wrestling game. If you're into the old school wrestling games, a bit of a cross with Mortal Kombat really. This game shares a lot of comparisons with Mortal Kombat. Like I said, it was developed by Acclaim. A lot of the moves are over exaggerated in the game, so like the Undertaker's got a tombstone that he pulls out and smacks people with. Dunk the Clown's got a handshake that he can electrocute people with. And yeah, so the characters have themed attacks really. They also shed blood in the game. Not blood in the way of Mortal Kombat, it's things that are themed to the characters. So Yokozuna, instead of every time he takes damage, he will lose bits of food off his body. You can see things flying all over the screen. And people like Bam Bam Bigelow on the game, they lose bits of flame basically every time you sort of connect with a hit. It's also one of the first games that I can sort of remember, possibly throughout the Mega Drive's life, but this has commentary in it. Vince McMahon and Jerry King Lawler do the commentary. It's very limited, but it is there. Also, it's worth noting there are 8 characters on this game, and those characters are Lex Luger, Bam Bam Bigelow, Bret Hart, Doink the Clown, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, and Yokozuna. There is also, there was a rumour that there was also a locked character on this game in Adam Bomb, and this was actually confirmed by the developers of the game. There is another character in this game, so you have 9 characters on this version of the game. I believe it also would have been in the arcades as well. And Adam Bomb at the time was a pretty big character, sort of in a lot of storylines. I remember watching wrestling around this time. The game was released in 1995, and effectively it is an arcade wrestler, so it's not a wrestling game as such. Some little tips on the game are that it's a real button basher. It's very fast-paced action, and you're going to see from the gameplay in a minute what I mean. It's one of those games that really keeps you coming back for more. You can pick it up on eBay, usually between sort of £10 to £17 on any given day really. Buy it now is pretty generous on this game as well. If you can get hold of it and you're really into the wrestling games, it's definitely worth a pick up. So a little bit of a description on the game before we start. Like I said, we've gone through the characters in the game, and again, it shares a lot in it shares a lot in comparison really with Mortal Kombat. In that it's not really wrestling as in like you're wrestling for the pin, you're wrestling best to 3 rounds basically, so you're trying to outwit your opponent over 3 rounds. You'll see from the gameplay, like I keep saying, that basically what happens is it's just the slugfest basically for a good sort of 15 to 20 seconds, trying to get as many special moves in there as you can, and just trying to pin your opponent in the sort of allotted time that you have. So it's a really awesome game, guys. Just to also let you know that the SNES versions of this game only has 6 characters, I believe. Bam Bam Bigelow and Yokozuna are not in the game, which is it's quite funny actually, because they're not actually on the front of the game case, and the game art as well. It doesn't really change across all the versions of this game. Any game you're going to pick, this game, if you pick it up on the SNES, it's going to look exactly the same. So it's definitely worth a pick up, guys. So we're going to switch over to the gameplay now, and you guys can take a look at what it's like. If you've never played it, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favourite games from my childhood. Also, it's funny, playing it now, it brings back a lot of memories, because this game was one of the first games I ever played with the wireless controller set back in the day. We got the wireless controller set probably about 3 or 4 days before we bought this game, so a lot of memories for me this game, and I use the wireless controllers for a Mega Drive now, and yeah, a lot of memories coming back. Awesome game, guys, check it out. Okay, so here we go now then, the game's loading up. So the first thing we need to mention really is that the first part of the game is very quiet. There's no intro music until you get to the actual sort of WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game startup screen, which is now. So basically now, here's the 8 characters. As we scoot around here, there's a little picture of them. Also down the bottom here, you've got the options, which is pretty handy because there's lots of different control settings. So like I said, I'm using a wireless control pad here, but there's lots and lots of different control types here. So we've got a standard Megadrive pad there, very complicated. Basically because you've got so many buttons that, you know, you've only got 3 buttons, and those 3 buttons are all being put to use. So you've got, basically for each controller set, you've got 2 different control types, A and B. So we're on 6 button configuration controller, so there's A and B. So let's go with, I'm trying to remember what I used last time I played this actually. Let's go with this one here. So we got a medium difficulty, life on 100%, which was another good thing about this. You could actually customise the gameplay. So if you were quite good at the game and the other person who was playing wasn't, you could effectively, you know, pull your health down like this or put it up. So effectively we're okay on the options now. So let's select our character. So we've got Dunk the Clown, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hitman Hart, Lex Luger, Bam Bam Bigelow, Yokozuna and Razor Ramon. So let's go with the old classic, shall we? Bret Hart. So basically now you've got to decide whether you want to be Intercontinental or World Wrestling Federation champion. So let's go for, just for the purposes of this review, let's go for Intercontinental. So here we go, first digitalised sort of gameplay here. We play Razor Ramon. So you have this little cutscene before every fight, and now you're going to see your first instance here of the actual gameplay. So it's a real fast-paced game this. There we go, some exaggerated moves there from Razor Ramon. It's a game, like I said, that keeps you coming back for more. You've been thrown out the ring, as you can see. Now there are a fair few moves on this game, but you can also get little combos and things like that. So it's one of those button basher games that you're going to have to constantly sort of bash buttons to get out moves and things like that. But it's, I'm getting my arse handed to me. I think I've got the wrong buttons actually. That I was the wrong controller that I was using. The wrong controller type, but the run button seems to be... Right, okay, there we go. I've got the punch button sorted, which is going to be very, very, very important for this. for this. So, starting to get these buttons sorted now. Now it's worth noting, I'm not too sure if I actually noted it on the last review, that it is there is basically some slowdown. Later on in this game, you end up doing some handicap matches where you've got to take on 2 people on the screen at one time. Basically what happens there is when you've got all these people on the screen, as I pin Razor Ramon there, basically what happens on the screen is you see moves slow down, things that come off the opponents. So like I said, when they're hit, like they lose items of food and everything like that really. It's one of those games that even in the arcade, I believe it used to slow down quite a lot with things like that. So, you know, it's pretty much an arcade perfect port, this. It looks brilliant, and to be honest, it looked great in the arcades as well. I used to absolutely love this game in the arcades. I used to play it an awful lot. So, you might realise that there's actually a WWF sign up under the names of the competitors. That's for the amount of rounds you've won, so you'll see I should gain another one now. No, it just says a win there. So, there we go, there it comes, the sliding WWF sign come on with combo flashing. So basically when you pull 3 or 4 moves together, a punch and a kick, basically what happens is that you get a little combo sign comes up and it allows you to perform more highly powered moves. So if you're liking this game already guys, I might just be quiet for a little while during this review, and you can take a look at it for yourself and decide whether it's a game you'd want to pick up. Like I said, it's an absolutely awesome game. It doesn't really attract that much activity on eBay. If you're fancying picking this game up, it's not really going to set you back an awful lot. It's going to cost you a bit more than the standard Mega Drive game would. but you know, it is absolutely brilliant, and you will not regret picking this game up if you're a wrestling fan. It doesn't disappoint at all. It's very, very difficult, and trying to get used to the actual moves for everyone in the game, because every single character on the game has like a different move set. Really, they have different special moves, different combos, and everything like that. So it's definitely worth a pick up, guys, and it's recommended by me for sure. So anyway, that's it for me in this review, so make sure that you just stick around and watch the rest of the gameplay. You can hear some of the sounds and things of the game. It's worth sticking around for because it's absolutely brilliant. Anyway guys, please feel free to comment, rate and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.
Tonight's matchup, The Undertaker versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Somebody call security. This is a complete disaster! Here we go! Nicely done! Yeah! There it is! You have to give credit to The Undertaker! Get out of my ring! Get out of my ring! Did you see that? Raise the remote! Tonight's matchup, Raise the Remote versus Bam Bam Bigelow! Undertaker! He's going to the top rope! Boom, shakalaka! Pin him! Tonight's matchup, Razor Ramon versus Yokozuna. Nicely done! He's going to the top rope! A big cheater up two!